Hello traders, very good afternoon and welcome to today's episode of Post Market Analysis by Tradeducation. This is episode 73 and before I quickly go through the today's analysis, let me just share that the today's disclaimer that trading involves substantial risk and is not suitable for all investors. Also, whatever information or the strategies or the techniques which I'm sharing is for educational purposes only and cannot be used for any trade related activity. So with that, let's quickly look at how the overall auction developed today. And let me quickly go through today's screen. Let me start sharing the screen. And so first of all, sorry, so I was a bit caught up. I had a very busy weekend, and yesterday also I was traveling for work, so I did not found time to actually look at the markets and trade. But some of the references which I was looking at or which I had was this one time framing which was happening, and then it stopped around the 20 EMA. Okay, and yesterday what has happened is, so earlier we had this sort of one time framing up, then it hit the level or a resistance level, and then we had a sort of one time framing down for the 3 days. Okay, so this is the 3 days one time framing down, and this is the the 4 days one time framing up. Okay, so what is happening is the market was trying to balance around the 20 EMA or the 12,000. I would say the 12,000 level, 12,000 or 12,050, because that is more of a psychological reference level, which was happening. So what has happened is, so this was, so basically if you see the range, so the last video which I shared is the range has reduced, and then the next day we again, the range was pretty narrow. Then yesterday I think the range was pretty good. So today what was happening is, many people, they were just trying to short, they were eagerly waiting to short. And what has happened is, the market today opened with a gap up, and then around the multi-day high, so around this high is where the sellers again tried to step in, and then they took the auction again to the downside. Okay, so let me just quickly jump to the next chart, wherein to see whether the volumes are supporting or not. So I shared earlier that with the increase in price, the volume divergence was seen. Okay, so and yesterday, so let me clear this. So yesterday's volume and today's volume, if we compare, so today's volume is higher compared to yesterday's volume, and one of the reason will be the short covering rally. So today is more like a sort of short covering rallies. What is seen. And let me just quickly jump to the market profile chart, and these are some of the references. So these blue lines are some of the references which I had. So actually this was, oh sorry, yeah, not this line but this line. So this line I kept it. So earlier I thought that if the market opened here, and so there is a single print zone here, so it will bounce back. So that is what, there were multiple scenarios which were actually going through my mind. So some of the references which I was keeping was the yesterday's high. Okay, then I was keep looking at the 7th February high, and also the 6th February high. Okay, and this high is also the January high. So let me share you which is this high. So this high is of the 29th of January's high. Okay, so that was also, it's a multi-day high. And what has happened is, so it was more like a peacock rejection. So we had a prominent point of control formed on the 7th of February, which was not touched. So it was a virgin line. And then today, so yesterday many people were, they were trying to go short, and today it opened with a gap up. So it's a gap up opening, and it was a continuation to the higher side. Okay, so there was a peacock rejection, so this was a very good trade setup. So if you are seeing no continuation below the peacock level, you can go for a long with your first target of the 7th of Feb, second target of the 6th of Feb, and the third target of the 29th of Jan. So all the targets were hit today, and it was nothing but a sort of a stop hunting, or I would say short covering rally, which is we are seeing in the first A period, and a sort of a follow through in the B period. once with the B period finished, in the C period is where sort of exhaustion was seen, and it was not trying to reach again the 29th of Jan high. Okay, so it did not reach this level at all, and this was actually a very good opportunity to short. And so it was a good opportunity to short, but it was more like a scalp trade, and the idea was to to reach within this level. Okay, so this level is the 7th of February high. Okay, so so that is what I was going through my mind. So what I did is I actually shorted when the auction was came below the 6th of February's high. Okay, when it came below this line, so somewhere around this level where I shorted, right, that time the point of control was high, so the price was trading below the point of control, and what I did is I kept the target of this HVN. Okay, so as it reached here and again it snapped back, so I was able to get some premium, I would say, the time factor. So again, when it was not going below, so that again told me that yes, the buyers. So basically today the buying is pretty strong, so I think more buyers will be stepping in. And I was also looking at the VWAP line, so it was trying to again hit the VWAP. Okay, so this was a very quick scalp trade, so I made about 1% in Nifty today, and I made about 2% in Banknifty today, and they both were on the short side. Okay, and this was my trade plan. Once I did not saw any continuation to the downside, that's why I quickly closed my position, and I was just waiting whether the high is getting cleared or not. And one more thing to note here is this high is a weak high. Okay, the auction is not yet finished at this level, so that the reason why I'm telling it is a weak high is, if we go to the order flow chart, so the high is 12,185. Just a second. Yes, so I was actually looking at these numbers. So if you see this, so there were still five sellers and buyers around the today's high. So today's high is very weak. I would say it's incomplete. There was unfinished auctions which were present, and as it was trying to. So this is the VWAP line. So whenever the auction tried to reach there, again buyers were trying to stepping in. So this is what was happening. So when this sort of scenario was happening, as soon as I was in profit, I was in 1% profit. I just quickly exited the trade, and because I was getting a hinge that that this high will be triggered, and it will be again, there will be a sort of sharp tempo move, as there are multiple stop losses which are going big, which are getting built around this level. Okay, so that is what I was seeing in Nifty, and also I was looking at this volume profile chart. Okay, so this is the volume profile from 6th to 10th, and what I'm seeing is, so it's sort of a look above the balance and fail. So the auction tried to reach high, then it was sort of sideways development was happening around the value area highs, and then it was quickly trying to go, but it did not reach the volume point of control. It reached after around the ending session, but when this does not happen, I exited my trade, because I was expecting to reach the point of control or the volume point of control, which in fact did happen, but it happened about 2 hours later. So yeah, so anyways, it's good that whenever you are in profits, you book your profits, because these are markets, and markets change radically. So one thing which I'll be keeping for tomorrow is there's this gap. Okay, so I'll be monitoring this gap. It's not a big gap, but I'll be monitoring this gap. I'll be also monitoring today's high, and today's close is a bit bearish. Point of control is higher, value is higher, but the close has it's in the single print zone. So the single print will also I'll be keeping it as a reference, and tomorrow's opening will give me more clarity. And what I'm expecting is it would be opening within this single print zone, and then it will try to fill the gap, and we need to see the tempo. So if we see a sharp tempo, then the odds are high that it will reach this, will try to clear this single print, and then again buyers will try to step in, and they will again try to take the auction higher. Okay, so this is what I'm expecting in Nifty. In Bank Nifty, just give me a second. In Bank Nifty, from the daily chart analysis, what I'm seeing is that it is finding support around the 20 EMA, and today it opened with a small gap. So volumes are okay, volumes are pretty okay, but there was a very small gap which opened today. So if you see, this is, let me just get the ruler. Okay, it's a 5-point gap. It's a 5-point gap, which the Bank Nifty opened today, and what has happened is it quickly moved, swiftly moved higher, and I was actually looking at this reference line, which it did not tag. Okay, so Bank Nifty was showing me no confidence in terms of, because I was waiting for this line to get clear and then to get a trade location. When this sort of movement was not happening, what I did is I was looking at Bank Nifty, and this HVN was also my reference line. So I was also looking at this, and I think around in D period is where I went short with my first target was this high, the 7th of February high. Okay, so this is the 1% move which I was able to capture, and once this happened, I just quickly moved out of the trade, and I was just waiting for this line to get tagged. Okay, so I was just waiting that once this happened, then again we'll be seeing some sort of balancing, and then some sharp up move is what I was expecting, which did not happen. But what happened is again sellers tried to step in, and then they took the auction down. So in Bank Nifty also, the close is very bearish. Okay, it's very bearish. The point of control is higher, the even the value is developing higher, but there are multiple references on the downside. First reference is this gap, second reference is the single point zone, third reference is the prominent point of control. Okay, so I'm having higher the odds that that will be seeing more downfall in a couple of days in the Bank Nifty compared to Nifty. Okay, and from, so this was also the volume profile chart which I was actually looking at, and so this was the balance high. It did not reach there, so it was just trading above within the the balance high, so it was showing me no confidence. So that's why I was just waiting for a quick scalp trade, and as soon as I got my 2%, I just quickly moved away. Okay, uh, this is the Reliance chart. I think let me quickly jump to crude oil, then showcasing Reliance, because something fascinating is happening in crude. So if you see this line is the swing low, and right now around this level is I'm expecting to have a sort of balancing. Okay, this is the swing low, major swing low. So let me just scroll to the left, and we'll be seeing. So this swing low is of the 6th of June 2019. Okay, and so my chart is of 12th of February. Okay, so I just have 1 year data, and right now it has not reached that level, but it is trying to balance for that particular level. Plus the volumes are pretty high. As soon as we are reaching this, the volumes are also pretty good. So currently what is happening in the overnight market is so if you see the US session close, it was very bearish. Okay, it was very bearish, but today what we are seeing is that it is trading around this single print. It is trading around this high. Okay, this volume profile high, and today's high is exactly. So if you see around this single print zone is where the sellers again are trying to step in. And earlier so if you see, this move was nothing but a stop hunting move. Once this got triggered, now again it is trying to go down, and it is trying to clear the stops which are built at this level. Okay, so crude oil again, a sort of sideways zigzag movement, choppiness is expected, and we are nearing the all-time low. So auction always goes lower to find new buyers. Okay, so let's see whether buyers are trying to defend their positions or not. Okay, and with that, I would like to end this session and would say thank you, and I would request you to please do like, subscribe, and press the bell icon, so that you get notified whenever I'm trying to post a new video. And do let me know your comments, and do let me know if today, so I have figured out the voice issue, the microphone issue. So let me know if my voice is okay. If this voice is doable, then I'll continue using the same infrastructure for for recording the videos. Okay, so thank you, and let's again connect tomorrow and see what happens tomorrow. Great. Thank you. Take care, and bye for now. Yeah, bye.